agenda as presented.
Support.
We have motion and support. All in favor to approve the agenda, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Agenda's good. Next is the approval of the minutes as presented for the regular meeting, February 10th, 2025.
Everything looks as it should from last month. I will make a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting, February 10th, 2025.
Support.
So we have a motion and support on the minutes from last month. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, minutes approved. Next, we will have public comment on agenda items only. I ask that you keep it to 3 minutes. And it's public comment, it's not question and answer. So if you do have a question, we'll note it. If we can answer your question at the end, we will. If we cannot, we will turn it over to our office staff and we will have them get you the answer and get back with you. So is there any public comment? All right, I will close public comment. Next is the approval of the accounts. First one is the treasurer's report. That's your purple sheet.
Yeah, lots more CDs coming up. I will make a motion to approve the treasurer's report ending February 28th, 2025.
Support.
So we have a motion and support, and because this has to do with money, we will do a roll call. So Pat, do your thing.
Caverly,
Yes.
Lucid,
Yes.
Schlenker,
Yes.
Schluenz,
Yes.
McCafferty.
Yes. All right, next is bills and transfers ending February 28th, 2025.
With the HP workstations, are those all up and running?
Yes.
Everything's great? The transition went good?
We have 2 more that need to be upgraded. I'll be bringing in a bill for about $600 probably next month. This is the one that the attorney uses and the one that Laura uses, just to get Windows 11 upgraded.
I'm sorry, I didn't ask earlier, but what is the David Chapman for the Freightliner insurance? Is that for the year on the new Freightliner? We pay it yearly? Okay, awesome. Then I'll make a motion to approve the bills and transfers ending February 28th, 2025.
Support.
So we have a motion and support, and because this also has to do with money, Pat, please.
Caverly,
Yes.
Lucid,
Yes.
Schlenker,
Yes.
Schluenz,
Yes.
McCafferty.
Yes. Okay, next is the report section, and we will go on to the administrator.
Just real quick, no bids were received for the bid opening scheduled for Wednesday, February 26th for the Ladies Museum Foundation Repair Project. So both times I've done it, I haven't received any bids. So I'm setting up a meeting with Shannon and with the supervisor from Atlas Township and Damon from the county to see where we're going to go from there, what we can do. And that's where we're at with that. Earth Day cleanup is scheduled April 26th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. They will be gathering at the Atlas Township Fire Department right there on Clarence Street. So if anybody's interested, just come on down and they'll help. They give out a prize for the strangest thing that's found.
April 26th is a
Saturday.
Saturday 26th. I don't do that.
In well, the Genesee County Metropolitan Planning Commission has, and the Board of Commissioners have planned a public input session. Oh, here, Rain. All around by. The March 18th, 11 to 1 at the Flint Farmers Market, and then a couple of other dates there, and they'd like people's input for the 2026 Genesee County Transportation Improvement Program and Safe Streets and Roads for all study. It'll help to pinpoint project goals and effective ways of making the transportation safer and reliable. I also have this on our website, so if you guys
Do you know, just because you might have more details, it said like East M15 in Hegel, East Hegel, and do you know what that is in regards to?
That's the one we're gonna be paving on East Eagle from the TIP funding.
Yeah, from number 15 east, on Eagle,
From M15?
in front of your subdivision.
Yeah, in front of your
So
stuff.
it's just a
15
repaving
to the-
project, not like a sidewalk grinding project? just
Not yet,
repaving?
no, that's
It's
that's
just
coming.
like what we did down.
We're gonna be working on
on
that.
Milledgeville.
Smoother roads, maybe they'll go even slower on a smoother road.
Yeah, I'm sure that's exactly what's gonna happen.
That's it for now.
Wonderful, thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Next, DPW and street administrator. Matt, what you got going on?
We got the guys that work on benches, we got 1, 2, 3 done, they're working on 4th. That's the picture, that Chris has. That's what it's looking like.
Ooh, they're stained, fancy.
Yeah.
Fancy.
Lots of lacquer on them.
Oh, they look good though.
They do look good.
Did you guys get asphyxiated in the garage painting those?
No, they had
Help
the
them
doors
paint?
open today, so.
You don't,
They painted them in the office.
you don't have a bench.
I've seen it, I was down to the DPW, so.
Yeah, no, they look
So
great.
you were down there, huh?
We had the trucks back to the, we had the 2 trucks back to the shop here, but one had to go back to the shop again for some electrical issues.
The newest one? The
Yes,
Freightliner.
Freightliner.
It's been back twice now, yeah.
So that's, I talked to him this morning, they're fixing it today, I'm hoping tomorrow I should hear a call from him, hopefully he'll pick it up again.
At least we don't need salt.
Yeah, so. And we got, I got that one somewhat pretty much cleaned up, I haven't got really detailed yet, because I'm hoping we're done with snow, but since we had a issue with the Freightliner, I don't want to get rid of the old one until we're sure that kinks are worked out of the new one. Salt grant, I have entered all the bases we've done recently for the salt grant now, so I got conduits is all done, road's all done, miscellaneous ones last couple years we've done, are all entered into the program now.
Wonderful. Thank you,
So,
Matt.
and I guess you can do layers, so we'd like to put maybe like the benches on there, guardrails, culverts, there's some other things you can do.
There's no
On the
way,
top.
we can, yeah, with that program, we can do
Yeah.
layers of all kinds of things,
So,
even our equipment.
Yeah, no, that would be fantastic, just to keep a record of all that stuff. That would be amazing.
Lower backhoe, we get some new batteries for that. Freightliner truck, we did have it all lettered too, just before I had to go back to the shop, so that one is all lettered at door now. So it's pretty much all set to go, as long as we get the kinks worked out, but. We did one round of pothole filling. We got maybe half the subs done, we'll go back out this week since it's nice out. But a lot of the subs are getting to a point now where
It's just,
pothole cold patches don't work anymore. They need to be either milled and filled, or some are getting to a point now where it's just total, it's gotta be tore up. It's just, there's not left of them.
is
Right.
there anything in regards to, the village wants to repair the roads, if there is vacant lots, can the village step in and ask the owner of the vacant lots, are you planning to sell, are you planning to build, are we planning to do anything, so that we can know, like, should we repair the roads before, for instance, in Fairview Hills, if there's vacant lots where we're gonna still have cement trucks coming through and, you know, building material coming through. if
Well, you
the-
can ask, but I mean, I don't know that.
There's nothing the village can do to say, hey, we would like to get these
No.
roads redone, okay.
Consumers have been out working on the streetlights along M15, which is very nice. Thank you.
I think everything got done in your subs too that you tagged,
Yeah,
just about.
yeah. So that's good. Dam inspections. We did talk to Kevin within the next, what do you say, 2 weeks or so? For,
Probably within the next week, I just got the,
the feasibility study. So they should be.
that'll be done next week, I
That's
believe.
what you're excited about,
Yeah.
feasibility study.
And one more thing on grading, I know there's a lot of potholes. I'm hoping within the next, this nice weather, a week or two, we can start getting out and grade. I know there's still a lot of frost on the ground yet, and there's still some snow and ice where it's all shaded, so. We got a little bit of time yet, but I know they need it. So it's just weather dependent.
Yeah,
That's
no.
it.
Okay, I got, you might wanna think about, on these driveway culverts. In the fall time, leaves seem to get blown into, and you got leaves on both ends of the culverts. You got leaves all about around the the drain, where it drains into. And when it comes to spring, if we have any rain, we're gonna have just
Yeah,
kind
we'll
of a
go
mess.
around, yeah, we'll go around and check everything.
Yeah, because I looked at a couple ditches and, I mean, you can't get water down through them
Right.
because of leaves.
Some of the problems, people like to burn them, burn leaves and fall in the ditch, and the only thing is, some people forget about them, they just sit there, or
In
they
the
don't
ditch?
burn them all the way.
Yeah,
That's probably me.
it probably is, thanks.
I told her, I go, you got leaves at the end of your sub, you need to have somebody come down and scoop them out, they're gonna clog.
That's
Yeah,
all I have.
Thank you.
okay, I have a quick comment. We go to these, small cities and villages meeting, and, for the past 2 months, I have been pushing the sale of our truck. I've been trying to get people to bite, and so far, no takers. A lot of conversation about them, but no takers. So let me know when I can pick that back up again, because I'll keep my mouth shut next week.
Is it still going as a closed bid, or are we actually putting it out there for
We
sale?
have not put it out yet because of the issues with the new truck, so Matt asked me not to do it.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting
We're
for
gonna hang
the
on
street
to it for
administrator and Matt to
a
tell me
little
to
bit.
move forward, then I will do it. I mean, tell me.
It seems like every time we drive the truck, they will.
Yeah, I only made about an hour or so last time I salted, and that's when the
Yeah.
translate came
Yeah,
out.
for some reason, we're, gotta get the bugs worked out.
Okay, thank you so much, Matt. Next is the code enforcement, report that is in your packet. I don't see Miss Laura here, so, you guys can go over that for your reading pleasure. Then we have the building department activity report. We've got permit fees that were issued in February for $475, so, $75 higher than January, so it looks like things are picking up. So that's there, the fire department activity report for February 2025, so it looks like everybody was, doing all right. There wasn't much stuff on there at all, which is nice. And then the sheriff's department activity report for February 2025.
Is this the same report you give to Alice Township?
Yes.
Okay. I do like your format here. It's much easier to read and understand. Yeah.
We've been trying to change it up a little bit, so we can make it that way.
Thank you.
No problem.
So, and even that, is getting smaller, so
Raise it
unless,
back to back, so-
unless
which
we're
is
just
nice.
counting the front to back
Yeah.
pages, but
Well, you have-
nonetheless, it's still.
You should have the other one up there too, the one with all the calls on
It's
there.
on the last page.
Yeah.
It was given to me this morning, so I brought them up today because my person was on vacation last week, so.
It's just-
Yeah, no worries.
Just to see if it's-
No worries, we're good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next, we have, a couple of presentations, and we will start with the Home Improvement Urgent Repair Program. Renata Soto will be, presenting, the program she's the Program Services Specialist for Genesee County Metropolitan Planning Commission.
Good evening. How are you
Great,
tonight?
thank you.
Wonderful, thank you.
Thanks for letting me come and present tonight. I'm just going to share some information about our home improvement programs. We do have two different repair programs. One is a general home improvement program, or we call it HIP. It's been in existence for 40 years. It looks at the entire home from roof to basement for deficiencies based on HUD, housing quality standards, and local code. We must ensure that homes are safe, sanitary, and decent. Repairs can range from roofing, windows, insulation, electrical, and plumbing repairs, smoke detectors, and much more, depending on what our inspector determines are necessary repairs. The Urgent Repair Program, or URP, was created around 2 years ago to fill a need in the county for a spot repair program, and as a way to help more residents with larger, more costly repairs in a faster time frame. However, the URP only covers 4 components: roof, well or water hookup, and septic and furnace. Eligibility for our home repair programs is primarily based on household income, The program works throughout the entire county except for the cities of Flint and Clio and the villages of Lennon and Otter Lake, who have chosen to opt out of the program. Income charts are in your packets, but a one-person household can earn up to $44,000 per year and qualify. A four-person household can have an annual income of $63,700 and qualify for our programs. Some other eligibility requirements are that applicants must have lived in and owned their home for at least 1 year. The taxes, mortgage, and insurance must be paid current. Rental properties, manufactured home communities, and trailer homes are not eligible. We have an online application that you can access through our website, or a paper application can be mailed if the resident doesn't have access to the internet or is not computer savvy. If approved, homeowners sign a deferred payment loan with the county. No payments and no interest, but it's not a cash loan to the homeowner. We pay the contractors on behalf of the homeowner. Repayment of the loan varies based on household income level and the age of the applicant. Homeowners under 62 may have a portion of the loan forgiven after 7 years, and the balance is due when they sell the home. It transfers ownership or they vacate the property. Homeowners 62 years and up will have half of the loan forgiven right away, and the other half is forgiven after 5 years, provided they still live in and own the home. The maximum amount that can be spent per household is $24,999 for either program, and participation is limited to 1 time. During 2024, we completed 48 projects. 18 were HIP and 30 were URP, including 21 roofs, 4 septics, 3 wells or water hookups, and 2 furnaces. And I've given you all my business cards and flyers, and I've also left some extra flyers to hand out, in the office if any residents inquire about the program. So feel free to give the information out to any residents that might need it.
How long has this program been in effect?
40 years, over 40 years.
4 years?
40.
40.
40.
This is the first I've heard about it.
The urgent one was only 2 years old, but the in general one has been 40 years.
Yes.
And have you done any work in Atlas Goodrich area?
Yes, we have. I don't know the exact numbers, I
Sure.
don't have those with me, but yes, we have had homes
Okay.
helped with that program.
So where do you get your money from?
It comes from HUD and MISHDA,
So HUD is a federal program?
correct.
Uh-oh.
How's your
Okay.
As of right now, it's the status quo. We've been, told to just keep running the program as is. We
Sure.
haven't heard, what the future will entail, but,
Yeah, nobody knows.
right.
Very good.
So,
Well, thank you.
Thank you so
very
much.
much. Hopefully HUD maintains, its continuity, and
we hope so
because you
too.
guys, I've learned so much about different organizations in the community that I didn't know. Like, I had no idea about this, so it's wonderful work that you guys do there. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We enjoyed it. Thanks.
Looks good before.
You are welcome to stay if you would like to hear the rest of our meeting, or you do not have to feel bad if you want to go enjoy the day.
Sometimes she gets
Yeah, I'm
behind
gonna
us
probably go,
sometimes,
so I
like,
can
it
see the
gets really
sunshine,
exciting.
but thank you for inviting me.
Thank
No, I
you.
parked up front,
You
so
can
I
go,
just walked.
you can go this way and go up the hill
Okay.
outside, or you can
Sorry.
go up, back up the stairs.
Okay.
Or
Oh,
take
I didn't know if
yeah,
that would be
You can go
allowed.
back and go
Okay.
out.
All right, thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, and then next, we have the 2023-2024 Village Audit Presentation by, I hope I'm saying your name right, Rana Emmons. Raina Emmons, CPA.
Good evening. Nice to see everyone this evening. Once again, we have a very good report for you. It looks like everyone has them. Starting out with just a few highlights, the village did receive the highest level of audit opinion possible, which is an unmodified opinion. It means no exceptions, disclaimers, nothing bad to report tonight. The starting off your largest source of revenue, property taxes. We had a nice jump this year, it's 6.9%. So that is, of course, the 5% we saw with the assessments, capping out with the inflation, but then you're higher than that because of additions, homes if they've become uncapped when they sold, or new homes being built. So that, you know, the year before you were like 4.0%. Now we've jumped to 6.9. Statewide for next year, they're at 3.1, but we'll see. There's some other factors like we just talked about that they could come into play, but we should be happy with that increase. State shared revenue, however, different story. It was pretty much flat this year. Over the last year, that's the sales and income tax that gets distributed to the village from the state. They are not projecting a significant increase, maybe 1% for next year. And they're playing around in Lansing with, for a while it was a hot topic that they wanted to make sure that the local units were whole. But now it's not the flavor of the month, it's roads are in schools. So stay tuned on that one. Interest income, you have a nice big jump this year. The treasurer was investing in CDs, taking advantage of, you know, the sweet spot was not at like 12-month CDs, they were at like 3-month CDs. And she took advantage of that and all year long. So we saw a nice jump. We went from like $5,500 to $28,000 in interest for the year.
Every month it would show CDs were up for maturity soon, and yeah, she did great.
Right. Now, so if in the general fund, the total revenue was pretty much dead even, as within $5,000 of last year, even with the ups and downs. So consistency is nice. Expenditures were also very consistent. You had a transfer out from the general fund this year, just under $50,000 for Hawthorne Ridge Engineering, which you know about. Ultimately, the general fund added $201,000 to the fund balance. Similarly consistent to the year before, we added like $236 the year before. So again, we're happy to see a positive there. You came in under budget, $339,000. 330 of that is capital improvements that that basically fall into the next year. But again, you're under budget, you added to the fund balance, those are really positive. That's what we like to see. The major and local street funds, minor, I guess we call it, which is the Act 51 revenue from the state, up 2.5% from the year before. Again, they're not, they're talking about all these different things. They're talking about taking the fuel tax and sending it to the schools, and so stay tuned. It's all kind of up in the air right now. But let's see, major streets added $98,000 to the fund balance. So again, yay, because we can always use money for the roads, right? And minor streets used up $34,000 of the fund balance. Most of that was because you did limestone, what Johnson & Sons excavating, I think was the major. So that added up this year.
Well, that's something we do every 3 years, folks. We do limestoning every 3, so in 3 more, we're gonna have to do this again.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering too, then we'll have to talk at budget time about the truck fund, because now that we have it, are we gonna lower the bucket that we're holding for truck money? Now that we have a brand new truck, so we could save for that. So that'll be nice to discuss in June.
Hawthorne Ridge, the SAD bonds, you sold those in fiscal year 23, but in so we got the money at the end of 23, but then we actually did all the construction work in fiscal year 24. So it's in its own fund, so that didn't get mingled with anything else. At the end of this audit, at June 30th, 24, you had like $43,000 left in that fund, and then you've spent it since then in the new year. So in 25, that fund will be closed out. Sewer fund had an operating loss of $16,000, which is better than it was the year before. You did So we, in the sewer fund, because the accounting's a little different for it, it has things like fixed assets and depreciation and stuff thrown in. It's not as straightforward as, say, the general fund. We look at things like cash flow, cash usage. It actually, cash was down this year, even though the numbers were pretty consistent, the expenses were pretty much the same. Usage revenue was down from the year before. So, I'm sorry, less usage revenue in the prior year. You didn't have a rate increase, right?
Mm-mm.
So that has to be all, people use more in fiscal year '24. The major capital outlay, we just talked about, the Hawthorne Ridge paving is considered we didn't buy any major trucks or anything like that in fiscal year '24. And lastly, debt, no new debt this year. You have the one general obligation debt, which is for this building, and that doesn't mature until 2044. And you have 3 SAD bonds currently, which will mature in 2037, which will be here before you know it.
No, please no, let's just stop.
It seems that way. In '23, you paid off your 2013 capital improvement bond, so those are all gone. So we're down to the four issues, one general obligation. So with that, if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
So we'll be shooting for like May, June for budget. You're looking at again,
Mhm.
plan those in.
Next month I
Next
will
month.
will be scheduling 3 workshops in May and then get it done so we can adopt it in June.
No, I feel like, I mean, like you said, we've all been putting our best interest in it, and we always get free input on things, and I think that we're on the right track, for sure. So, and you've been great, Raina, so any opinions that you
Appreciate
give
it.
are always greatly appreciated.
Question. With, the federal government not wanting to, put out so much money and push back things more to the states, I'm concerned that like villages and cities are gonna lose federal funding that they receive. Do you guys have like any forecasting or anything like, or any models of like, how is that gonna look for communities, and how I would rather prepare to not have it than hope for it, budget that we're going to get it, and then we don't have it, and now we're in a world of yuck.
So fortunately, yes, so I do pay attention to that, and I do sit on legislative committees and things like that. So far, I would say that that's not going to impact the village because, well, so the country overall is being impacted because the American Rescue Plan money that they sent out a couple years ago in '21 is pretty much run out. Everyone is, just finished spending it at December 31st, 2024, most of them. And the Inflation Reduction Act, some of the federal dollars that went out for that, that's pretty much done and over with, and everyone's kind of, that's why I think the stock market is reacting also. It's kind of like, now what? With all this other stuff going on a day-to-day basis. But fortunately, the village does not rely heavily on the federal grants, and even the flow-throughs through the state, the feds to the state and then to you. The things they're talking about in Lansing right now with the state budget will impact you somehow. And that's the piece that I honestly worry about. I actually listened to some things on the breakdown of what the proposals are at the state level. And like I said, it's their priorities. They haven't nailed down what like the governor says this, she wants to make roads and schools the priority. And I think the other side does too. It's just a matter of how they're funding it. So some are getting creative. And again, things like that fuel tax, if they take the sales tax off the fuel tax and divert it to the schools, that will impact you. So we're waiting to hear. They haven't settled things in Lansing. That will impact you more than the federal government.
Okay, so we need to pay attention as to what's going on at the state level.
Should be shortly, they should be coming to some kind of agreement.
Okay. Okay, no, I just,
But there's big numbers that they're throwing around. and they're-
right, I mean, we operate, you know, the village operates at such a minimum that, you know, like if we're looking at grants and if they happen to be like federal grants, I know that, some agencies have rescinded their grants to other, like whether it's a university, a municipality, another group, you know, like a nonprofit group, they're rescinding those grants. So I don't want us to like, oh yeah, we have like this federal grant for the dam, and then we're budgeting around that, and then, you know, let's just have fun with money because it's pretend. Now we're gonna lose $2 million of a federal grant that, you know, now what? So, yeah, so we can all just pay attention to the state budget and see what's going on at the state level and how it's going to impact us. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, no, you've done a really nice job bringing in like grant money from the feds and the state for the village. So, you know, you did definitely get a pat on the back for that. That's some serious money that you brought in here. And, but the federal piece, like the state's not gonna renege unless it's a federal source.
Right.
You know, but the federal, and kind of all bets off right now until things settle down.
Right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, Raymond.
Thank you to our office staff for keeping the records good and, you know, writing good checks and making good decisions.
Looking at grants.
It's nice that we're keeping it in the green.
Yeah.
So kudos to you guys.
Yeah, no, very much thank you to the staff. It's, I can't do it without them. They're all very helpful, very, you know, they all know their positions really well, so they, you know, I get great answers back, and, you know, it's a nice team process.
Yeah, and sometimes they have a thankless job. A lot of the stuff goes on behind the scenes that people don't know that it's happening. And when we get, you know, good audit reviews and, you know, the grant funding that we bring in, not everybody pays attention and everybody jumps at like the bad stuff or what they consider as a bad thing. But you guys are doing good work, so thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, now, if you would like to stay for the rest of our meeting, you are welcome to. But if you don't want to,
Public hearings are probably gonna get really crazy.
I mean, all this public in here is nuts. We had to bring out all these extra chairs.
Don't you gonna stay, or you doing? I mean, how long's the agenda?
I mean, if we're keeping you awake, I mean, then you can, yeah.
It was such a nice day, nice seeing you, thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. Okay, next we'll move on to public hearings. The first public hearing is to consider the proposed ordinance number 2025-01, Chapter 11, Environment, an ordinance regulating the storage of batteries.
Is this to be read, is this just for comments?
Why don't, you're the good reader, why don't you go ahead and read it?
For Monday, March 10th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Notice to the citizens of the Village of Goodrich, Michigan. The Village of Goodrich Council is holding a public hearing today, Monday, March 10th, 2025 at 6 p.m. located in the Village of Goodrich Municipal Building downstairs in the meeting room 7338 South State Road, Goodrich, Michigan 48438 to consider proposed ordinance number 2025-01, Chapter 11 Environment and Ordinance Regulating the Storage of Batteries. Penalties for violation. Copies of the proposed ordinance are on file in the office of the village clerk located at the Village Hall 7338 South State Road, Goodrich, Michigan 48438 and can be reviewed during regular business hours Monday through Friday. Physically challenged persons needing assistance or aid at the public hearing should contact the Village of Goodrich Administration Clerk during regular business hours not less than 72 hours prior to the public hearing. Anyone unable to attend the hearing can call or send their comments to the Village of Goodrich Administrator or Clerk, P.O. Box 276, Goodrich, Michigan 48438, or at 810-636-2570, or fax to 810-636-8886.
All right, thank you. So, Sherry, do you want,
Well, you can you open it and then ask if anybody has any.
okay, yeah.
Open.
Gonna open the public hearing, so does anybody have any comments, questions, concerns about battery storage?
Hit me when you're done.
Okay, do what?
When they're done with the public,
Oh,
I've got
you,
some concerns,
oh, you have some concerns?
very much so.
Okay, well, are you gonna speak as a council person or as the public?
Council.
Okay, I will close the public hearing portion of this. Council, any questions, comments, concerns?
Just wondering if were we able to, I know Tracy said she was gonna look into, do we have designated collection points listed clearly? She said we could set up something. Is there anything physically set up for number C, letter C, under section?
Yeah, we could set up a collection in the hall like we do the flags, yes, absolutely.
Section 10.3 storage requirements, letter C.
These are on batteries. And you don't want to be storing them in the office.
Right, or outside.
You don't want them in the hallway. If we're gonna store them, if we're gonna take a collection point, they probably should be back here with the DPW. I wouldn't accept batteries in the lobby.
Where's a designated drop off, like for the county or the township, or, I mean, is it, anybody know? Where you can get rid of them?
Normally, I think you can get rid of them at auto parts store or a body shop or any like auto repair
Yeah,
shop.
like a car battery, vehicle battery.
Right, they'll take just about, I know, like Hamptons
Which is right here. so-
takes batteries because they buy batteries, so a truck comes in and takes them. But I don't know if that's an actual designated collection spot, but I wouldn't accept them here.
If we accept them, what are we gonna do with them? So,
That's what I'm saying, I wouldn't accept them, especially storing them in the lobby. That's a horrible idea.
No, that has, I would think of,
You gotta have a
safety
ventilation,
concern.
yeah, if
Right,
we're
the
gonna, if
safety
we're
concern with
gonna,
like battery acid and all of that stuff.
right, and I don't think Matt wants to be dealing with that,
Some of your recycling places will take car batteries.
depending on where,
Right,
right?
it's just lithium batteries. It's
I
usually the ones
believe any place that sells a battery has to take them.
that core charge, correct.
But
Right.
we are not gonna become a dropping off for car batteries.
Well, that's,
That's what we're saying, is we want to make
Yeah.
sure it's spelled out, that just says, residents are encouraged to
Right.
recycle used batteries at designated collection points. So
Right.
do we have designated collection points prepared to give to the residents?
Well, we can find them, they're, like he said, they're at the different, they change.
So we don't, the
they
village
exchange, normally when you
itself,
buy a battery, there's a core charge for it, so you gotta take it back.
the village itself does not have to be a
No.
collection
Correct.
spot.
Okay.
We can inform the public that, like, hey,
I misunderstood what you asked.
Joe's Assembly is, they accept batteries for recycling during these hours.
Remember, every year they do the hazardous
Yeah,
pickup, so they
Yeah.
do that.
yeah, and we
twice a year.
can include,
But yeah, we can provide them with,
Locations, yeah.
right,
Okay, I
right.
misunderstood.
Well, Menards will buy batteries back at $10 a battery, but you have to, they give you a receipt, but you've got to spend it in their store. Or you take a core, switch it, if you're buying a new battery, they'll give you $10 for the old battery and put it onto the new battery.
Right.
But yeah. Okay, I've got a problem with this ordinance. I've got a problem with any new ordinances to just make government, I don't know, more cluttered as far as I'm concerned. Who's gonna
Enforce?
enforce it? What are we enforcing? My suggestion was what we should have done, or maybe we still can do it, is get with the fire department chief, get with the township, and when they send out their December Christmas cards, you wanna call it, or their taxes, they send out a letter Well, put in that letter, different ways of storing your batteries, different ways of where you can take your battery, and make it township-wide, and not try to have a code enforcement officer come over and look at your batteries. People need to be more informed of what they can do with their batteries, as far as, where do you take them, how do you store them, then they'll have another ordinance here that, as far as I'm concerned, is useless. Who's going around and what are you gonna see when you see batteries? I don't know. Maybe the fire department knows better of how to store batteries, but I don't know, and I don't think this village knows. So I'm against any ordinance like this that just adds another ordinance to our books that are really not enforceable, and we're not going to enforce it. Any questions?
I have a comment to piggyback on yours. I don't necessarily know that the code enforcer would be going door to door asking to see batteries. And this is just my thought, because we haven't discussed this, but I would think that if the code enforcer went to a business, let's say, and she was there for whatever reason, it could be, a sign height or something, and noticed a pile of batteries or batteries that were being stored outside next to the building, then that would be the point of discussion. Lithium batteries, all of that stuff is, it's not good for the environment. It's not good for kids that may be running around getting into things that they shouldn't be. Teenagers, but I was a teenager once, and I know what kind of trouble I got in. So I don't want to turn it into a, this is, parents have to, police their children and know what they're doing, and they have to parent better. Because once a teenager gets out on their own and is able to explore, they're going to do just that. So I don't necessarily think that the ordinance is a bad idea, especially when it comes to public safety. Do I think that it's going to become like we're going to be known as, oh, don't bring batteries into Goodrich? I don't think it's going to get to that point. But I think that this is, it's a good idea, because I know in our book of ordinances, we have a whole bunch of nonsense ordinances in there as it is, like coin laundry facilities. We have that on the books, and I've said it when I was previously on council. I think I've said it as an audience member. We need to look at our ordinances, but I don't think that this is a horrible idea. And I don't, again, I mean, nobody's gonna go knocking door to door. I went thinking, well, how are you storing your batteries? Where are you putting them? What are you doing with them? I think that if there's a call or there's an ordinance issue and something like this was noticed, I think that's when it would be brought up. And I'm for public safety, and I'm for, we've got arsenic in the ground in Goodrich anyways. We shouldn't have to add to it. So that's my 2 cents.
But do we know if they're storing them right, or they're not storing them? We don't have any idea. We've got nothing to go on. You say there's a pile of batteries. Well, yeah, most people can figure that out. But if they're all stacked nice and uniform, is that, I don't know.
Right, I mean,
They're stacked on top of each other, just out in the open, they're not stored.
Right, and maybe there's
no containment.
There's probably some type of training that a code enforcer, a council person, a homeowner could take, watch something about like proper storage of, you know, hazardous materials. I do agree with you to get with the fire department, because I think that they would know. Because they, you know, what if batteries are on fire? They have to know what they're fighting.
Well,
To me, it's not to put another ordinance there, it's to me to educate the public. And I told her about the, sending it with Atlas Township and their bills. Our sewer bills, we could send, well, here's a procedure of storing batteries.
We don't send
We
the
don't
bills.
send our sewer bills, they come from the county, so we
Okay.
can't put a note in there.
well, I mean, are these geared not so much to the homeowner, but to it's geared more towards the commercial repair shop that's storing. Your average homeowner isn't storing stacks of batteries.
I
But
feel-
a body shop, an auto repair shop, maybe an RV place, they're
Manufacturer.
storing new batteries and they're collecting old batteries, and whenever they get an order of new batteries, the old batteries
But-
go out.
But do we know if those commercial places already are under a certain law from the state about
I
storage of
believe,
batteries? I don't know.
I would assume so.
Yeah,
Well-
yeah, Melissa said
I feel
she
like
said-
when Sherry presents this and says this is housekeeping, she's looking at it as a CYA that, say Hamptons explodes, and they say, well, they had all these battery sheds, but we did have an ordinance, and that is not our fault, because they knew that there was an ordinance that said they should not be storing them that way, so nothing can say, well, the village allowed this to happen. We're not allowing it to happen. Yes, we're not gonna be able to go and police it every day, but we have it out there in the books that this is how it should be run. If it's not run that way, you are in violation. Maybe we didn't catch you, but you are in violation, and so if something happens, heaven forbid, you knew there was an ordinance
So
about
it's just a
it.
liability.
I think it's more, am I
The
correct?
state planning commission has recommended that community municipalities adopt a battery ordinance.
It
For
just
the
allows
safety
it to be
purpose of it.
enforceable.
I mean, places have been blowing up
And
because
it's a
they have not
liability.
been
It takes
stored
the liability
properly.
off of us.
Are you gonna go to a house and say, are you storing your, AA batteries? Or no, no.
And really, I mean, in the big picture of things, like, look at our climate change, like, we could have blazing hot days, people can have their garage door open, heat's pumping in their garage, they close their garage door, they may have, we have RC batteries in our garage, yes, we do have those storage things that they came in, like lunch boxes, but you never know, like, what's going on in the world lately, like, I just think it's a good cover our bottoms type of thing, that it's a piece of paper, it is documented, yes, it's a little bit, this is how we have to do things in Goodrich, but it's something to cover us.
These have all been reviewed by our attorney also.
I do appreciate your input on it, that is, it's
Yeah, I
excessive, but at
No,
the
and
same time,
it's all
for the, for
valid.
one, if it helps one person or one business from a situation that
What
happens,
rules do
it's
we
done.
go by? The storage of the battery.
Well, it does say on here, it says that you've,
Keep them out of the sun.
well, it says that you've read about, I don't think, I can't find the exact right, but it says that you're like, you're complying with regulations, like that you know. Must comply with fire code regulations, so.
And what is that?
Well, it's on your battery when you buy them, it tells you
Yeah.
how you store them.
So,
Okay, just another ordinance that I don't think we've got any authority, and we don't know what we're doing, we're going and ask these people. It's common sense, educate them, more than, putting in an ordinance doesn't educate anybody.
well, I do agree with what's,
We get the word out, that's what's gonna,
Right, now, I agree with you, Dave, I think,
probably.
I think that like educating the public is a thing. Protecting the village is also important, and protecting, potential public safety. Like, if I was storing batteries next to my house and all of a sudden they implode, now I'm impeding on my neighbor's well-being, well, that's not right. So I think, and
I like the idea of having the.
I just think that it's, is it over ordinancing? Maybe, but if it's gonna cause the village to be less liable for something, if it's gonna force an education process to the public, we can put it on Facebook, like, hey, did you know that this is how you're supposed to store batteries? We can
Share
post
his
it.
concerns with the attorney too, no problem.
Yeah, because this is just the public hearing. We're not setting anything today. So, it's just the public hearing to hear concerns. So, all of our concerns are noted, they're in the minutes. Anybody, Jonathan, you have any concerns about battery storage?
No.
Okay, okay, well, I am going to close the public hearing.
You already did, huh?
Oh, I already did, because we had
Yes.
discussion, sorry. Okay, well, now I'm gonna move on to the next one. The next public hearing, is to consider a proposed ordinance number 2025-02, chapter 25, Village of Goodrich, business license ordinance. I think this is a good one.
Would you like
So-
the assistant chief's letter right first?
The fire department chief has sent us an approval letter, which Melissa, since she's a good reader, she'll read the letter from the chief.
Members of the Village of Goodrich Council, I was hoping to attend this month's meeting. Unfortunately, I have prior commitments and will not be in town. I understand there has been a discussion about adopting a licensing ordinance for new businesses in the Village of Goodrich. I cannot express enough how important it is that this comes to fruition. A licensing ordinance would help to ensure that businesses and individuals operating within the village meet specific standards and requirements promoting public safety, health, and welfare. Chief Bullen and I have met with Laura Alexander, your code enforcement officer, and have been in contact with her several times this past year. I will be taking over as the new fire chief of Atlas Township on April 1st of this year, and hope to continue working together with her to ensure that all Goodrich businesses are compliant with the standards that our village requires. Sincerely, Ed Klimek, Assistant Chief, Atlas Township Fire Department.
So we have support of the fire department on this. I'll give a little rundown.
Are you gonna open the, open the meeting?
I'm sorry, open the public
Public
comment,
comment.
open the public hearing, and if there's any questions, comments, or concerns from the public on business licensing. Okay, well, we're gonna keep it open, because we can talk about it.
Nope. This is
No,
a
no,
public hearing.
oh, because it's public,
Public,
now,
and we
okay,
have
now I'm gonna
discussion.
close the public hearing, because no public wanted to talk. Okay, so it's closed now, but we'll have some discussion about this. With the business licensing, we've had some issues, contacting business owners because of, not having correct, point of contact information. So, one, a business license would provide a point of contact. A business license would also provide us with, like, you know, there's a new sign that just says, you know, flowers. Well, I think it's a flower shop, but Melissa finds out that they're actually milling flour. And, you know, it's just, it allows us to know what businesses are in the village. It'll also allow us to better promote our village by knowing what businesses are here. There's plenty of businesses that I was just on Google Maps and I was like, oh my gosh, this person, there's a business like that right there, there's a business. So it's just, it's an information thing, it's also a public safety thing. And again, like, to know what we're storing in these businesses. Let's say that I'm a nail person, my daughter does nails, I know what my basement smells like. Now, if we're storing like 50-gallon drums of acetone, that could potentially be a problem for the fire department, right? They have to know what they're fighting. And if we have business licenses, this type of information can be reported to first responders, so they know what they're dealing with. So, I think that this is a fantastic idea, and that's my 2 cents. Anybody else got any cents? 1 cent, 2 cents?
I think it's fantastic, because we've even discussed before, like, you know, in the Rose store, places come and go so often, and we don't know it's there, and then all of a sudden we hear that they're closing. It's like, well, they didn't get any business, but I feel like, especially us up here, like, we can help to market things and help promote things that we know are happening, but if we don't even know that they're about to open, let alone they've been open for 2 months, but nobody knows about them. You know, Sherry's been telling us about the chairlift store, they haven't opened yet, but what are they gonna be? What is a chairlift store? You know, if we can know what these things are, it's gonna help, I think, to grow our community and let us know what's happening in our small town. And maybe we'll get a bakery, just throwing that in, 2 cents.
Has there been anything thrown around of how much this license is gonna cost?
It's not going to be expensive.
That'll be determined at the next meeting.
Right,
And
it'll
you
be
guys will
determined at the
determine that.
next meeting.
Really, it's just like a filing period for the paperwork to be done.
Yeah.
It's whatever the council, they
Yeah,
have to
it's, I
charge
mean,
it, it's up to
we
them.
could make it $1,000, we could make it $15.
I mean, our food truck permits are what, $50 or $25, so $25.
I would, yeah, I mean, and,
But that's not what's on the
that's
table right now.
not today.
Yeah.
So, you have two, do you have any 2
Yes,
cents? Okay.
again, it's another ordinance. I'm against another ordinance. What happens if they said, I don't want a business license? What are you gonna do? Close them up? I doubt it. To me, instead of a business license, have a book of businesses. Where we give them a sheet of paper with all these questions on there, who to contact, what do you do here? And we put it in a book. And all these businesses down express or down the highway is 1, 2, 3, 4. We look at number 3 business. Boom, here it is. Pull that sheet out. This is what he does. This is how who owns it. I think we know every business in this community. I would hope we do. And the only ones we don't know are maybe from the house, a home business from a house. I can agree with your nails and you know, they could be storing.
Right.
But I am not for spending making the businesses spend 1 penny more than they've already are spending now. This isn't how we keep businesses by, I don't care if it's $5 or $10. Every year they gotta pay this business. And with a book of businesses, it doesn't cost a thing, keep track of everything. We serve the same purpose, I think. And like I said, who's enforcing it?
Well, that would come down to the code enforcer at the expiration of,
No, they'd be mailed out every January with the paperwork for them to fill out and pay the fee.
But what if, is it gonna be an annual thing? Is it a?
It would be an
per
annual,
term
yes,
of the-
annual.
Whoever's.
yeah.
Annual, or if the
annual
business
thing.
changes during the middle of the, whatever change, it could change 5 times.
Why do you need an annual fee?
I don't
if you already
agree
know
with
the
an annual
business
I
is
don't know about the
there?
annual.
I don't think I'd do an annual fee because they already opened the business. So let them buy the license and then it's
Until it
only good
changes
for
hands.
that business, so if it changes hands, then
Yeah.
they have to buy a new business license.
Right, they're licensed
But-
to do
but if
business
I'm
in
gonna-
Goodrich.
Right, but if I'm opening a business and I'm there 10 years, I don't wanna have to pay every year for a business license. You
Right.
already know what I'm doing here.
But you're getting the police
absolutely.
and you're getting the fire covered and the residents are paying for it. Okay.
Somebody's paying taxes on the building, or,
Well, they should be if they're
Yeah.
renting it, the home, the
Somebody, yeah.
building is paying the taxes on it.
right.
And if
they
you own the
it,
business, if you
they're
own the
paying
business and you
taxes on
own the
it.
building, you're paying the taxes on the building, which you're paying for the fire department.
I mean, like, for instance, like, now that I think I've heard that Ken's has changed hands, like, they need to get a new one now, because it's a new business, if it's no longer Ken's Ready Mix, and that's one thing, but, because what if they say, oh yeah, we're doing cement and we're also doing this now?
Okay, but if we're gonna do it to Ken's, then you gotta do it to every business. If it's just for new business that's coming in,
No, it's gotta be for all businesses, right? I need to start off, the whole point of this was to get a book going right now of every business we have in this town.
I got a feeling you're gonna get a lot of pushback from business owners.
Because that's the whole point, because we need to know what's going on.
Well, if,
I agree that it would be much simpler if we just had a book and everybody complied. But I think, sometimes getting someone to comply with something, if there is a cost to it and a benefit to it, I think people would be, I think businesses would be receptive to it. The point of, not it being an annual thing. Okay, I'm a nail person. Now, I'm bringing in tanning beds. A couple of years later, now I have tanning beds in there. Nobody has any idea, except that now I have a tanning sign on the front of my business. It's not, if I didn't have to update my business license, nobody knows that there's these tanning beds in there. So, whether or not there's a fee associated with them, I'll throw out an idea. Let's say that the business licenses are $100. I'm using large numbers, I don't believe that they should be $100. We can support the community with that money. So let's say for easy math, we have 5 businesses and we have $500 in business license fees for the year. We can promote our community, and we can promote the businesses by, like, hey, we're gonna have a fall contest on pumpkin decorating in the park, and some of the money that we have from the business licenses, we're gonna get gift cards to pass out as prizes for the people. So when I was talking about, there's, some people are more receptive to the what's in it for me. Well, now we have this contest, we have gift cards from businesses that have paid their business license fee. They're not gonna be, they wouldn't look at the village as we're just like sitting on this money.
I'm lost here. Who's gonna have this event and use this money?
Why couldn't the village have this event and use the money? I mean, we don't do anything for the community.
Are we gonna hire an event planner?
No, if there's maybe
Are people going to ask for the money?
maybe Gear is gonna host an event, or the village just posts on the Facebook page, hey, we're gonna have a fall decorating contest. And I know we've done it before. We didn't have yeah, because I won.
Village.
And I know the Maury's won for a flower contest.
The village?
People drive through the village, and
Yeah, I can.
it's happened before. It's an idea, okay? It's not written in stone, nobody's voted on anything. So, with that being said, I'm done.
What's the business getting for the business license? I'm giving you $10, $5. What am I getting for that?
I think a very beneficial thing that we should have, and we should have out there on our website, on any kind of social media, is a business guide with a nice picture of M15 and what is it with all the numbers. And it says, food places, 1, 6, 7, 3, 13, 15, bum, 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 bum. Nail places, bum, 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 hair places, and a little index map of what we offer in our town. I moved here, 9 years ago, and I thought there was one restaurant the whole time. And I was like, oh, there actually is, tons of places around here, but you just don't know about them. And I think having a nice, clear map of what our village offers would be fantastic. And for the $5 a business, if we have 45 businesses participate, we can whip up a really nice looking map.
Right,
That says
and
what's available.
even signage off of M15, like restaurants, whatever, that's going to help business in the village.
Okay, a lot of these places have quite a few licenses already. A food establishment that sells booze, they've got, probably 4 licenses they've got to have.
Right?
Okay, now if they say they don't want a license, they get closed down. Now let's say, what are they gonna do if they tell us to, take a hike on the license? You haven't got any authority behind yourself to do anything about it. It's just, smoking beers, and I'm not for that. I'm not for, like I say, taxing anybody. I'm for a book of businesses that we have in this office. Yeah,
I think a
I'll go-
$5 fee is going to cover somebody's time, it has to be somebody's time that's to go to make this book. Somebody has to go around and collect all the information and,
I'll go around and give these people, these business people, certain things they need to fill out.
Okay, we're
No?
Digress.
Okay,
We're,
that's
yeah,
fine.
we're digressing. We've all had our, Jonathan, you got anything? Okay, I don't want you to feel left out. Okay, so, we already closed the public hearing. We've had our talks. Now, next public hearing is to consider the proposed ordinance number 2025-03, chapter 33, regulation of vehicle repair in residential zones. I will open the public hearing on this one. Okay, I will close the public hearing on this one, and do we, as council, have any questions or concerns? I know I am for this one because I don't want to look at my neighbors working on their vehicles in their driveway for more than a week.
What's nice about this one, it isn't a new ordinance, it's just we're tacking on something to an existing ordinance, we're tweaking it, and I can go for that.
Oh, you're
No,
good
you're all
with
good for that
this
one.
one? You're good with this one?
Yeah.
which one are we
This is a
tweaking?
tweak.
I want
The vehicle one,
Make
it's
myself
already
clear.
an existing ordinance, it's already, this is already.
Because I am 100% on the lucid ground, like another piece of paper, because it seems very childish, but I also believe, like you do, about the common courtesy, but that's not the case all the time.
No,
So,
We're strengthening this ordinance now,
yes,
that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
yes, Dave knows all about this ordinance,
Boy, do I ever.
yeah. Okay, does anybody, Jonathan, you got anything on working on cars, you can quit doing that? Okay.
start wrenching up the firehouse. just-
I'm kidding, I don't know if he works on his car or not.
It's an auto repair shop
And it's also done
in the driveway.
take a, if you work on your car, if you've got two cars in your driveway, one of them's not licensed, it does tell you about that one.
Right.
You need a license,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Okay, so, that's done and closed. Okay, so we'll,
You don't want to see your neighbors out working on their cars for a week, no shirt on, 80-degree weather?
no, I don't.
No.
Okay, we did not have any unfinished business. New business is to authorize the payment of $520 to Walker Electric to upgrade, replace photo time clocks regulating the security lighting of the village municipal complex.
We're having problems with the going on and off and staying on all day, and, it needs to be done.
Yeah.
We were old school, couple of set screw from back in Delta's building, 2004.
Well, you should
Every
be,
time the
You
light,
should know how to set the screw.
yeah,
We try.
right.
and you should be happy that it's light out longer, now they won't flicker.
But when it's,
Which solves the problem.
when they light during the day, we're paying for that.
No, right, no,
Didn't hear me, cost $520.
I'm teasing. Okay, so. This is a work welfare thing because it's flickering and
So we gotta
bothering
make a motion.
everybody. So we need a motion to authorize the payment.
I'll make a motion to authorize payment of $520 to Walker Electric to upgrade, replace photo time clock, regulating security lighting of the village municipal complex.
Support.
So we have a motion and support, and because this is to do with spending money, Pat,
Beverly,
please.
Yes.
Lucid,
Yes.
Schlinker,
Yes.
Swens,
Yes.
and Capri.
Yes. Okay, next is public comment. This can be on anything. Again, we ask that it's 3 minutes. Try and have all your stuff in one statement, so we don't have repetitiveness. And go.
Oh,
You in the back?
Excuse me? On the business license ordinance, I hear what Dave says. I think these businesses have a lot of different things, licenses, everything that they have to get. I think as far as charging, it should be very minimal, if not free, and word it somehow that this information will be put in a book, so they would be responsible for providing the information. Put it in a book, put it on the website. A book up here doesn't do any good if there's a fire and it's after hours. Who's gonna get the book? You know? So if it's on the website, people can see it, but I think it should just be very minimal, if not free, because you're gonna discourage people. Like, oh geez,